Hello, Susan.
Hi, hi, Missy.
I'm so excited to be talking today. And I would like to just start with your story. Who are you? What do you do? How'd you get into it? And all the fun stuff.
Okay, so I'm Susan with Everyday Harvest, and actually the other day my kids were here. I have a 18, 20-year-old and 26-year-old, and I had laid out the evolution of my business cards. They actually couldn't believe how many there were and how like the business has evolved, and I've saved like two from every time I've shape shifted. Um, and so I started with a birth doula business.
Oh, I didn't know
So
that.
that was the very beginning. I wanted to stay home with my children, and I heard of other people that just were able to do it with the birth doula. I had a really tough birth with my first son. And so when I was in La Leche League, people would say, will you help me? So I started helping people. And then one day my husband said, is this something you can get paid for? So I went to Manchester Hospital. I did DONA, Doulas of North America, birth doula training. There's
Thank
here. Perfect. He's
you.
welcome. And so then I worked for Manchester Hospital and I worked for DCF. So if somebody was involved in DCF and they wanted a birth doula, DCF would pick up the bill. And I worked for the home birth midwives for 20 years.
And DCF is a
The Department of Children and Families.
okay.
So sometimes someone needs some extra support from the state, and that's one way they can get it.
Nice, nice.
And so I did that, and then I started learning about herbs, the human body, and obviously, I attended over 100 births. So, so like I started learning about herbs, like this herb helps bring in the milk.
Mm.
This herb helps dry up the milk. If someone's having difficulty with the placenta, this herb is going to drop the placenta. So I just started learning from the midwives, and I loved working at the hospital and saw a lot of water births and, um, was a big support. And I decided to take a aromatherapy class. So I found Wisdom of the Earth. It aligned with everything for me. It was a 2-day weekend workshop. And I was like, all right, this will add because I know, sage can dry up your milk. And like, how great to have a little bottle like this instead of trying to carry all the teas and
Mm.
roots and tinctures. I was like, this will be great. And, they had 200 food grade essences and medicinal. So I went to the class and the one of the teachers said, everybody intuitively pick an essence. Don't look at what it is. Open it up, smell it, and tell us how you feel.
Mm.
Really grounding moment for me. And I was like, feel like I just need to help the human body. I'm in my head.
Yeah.
Wisdom of the earth, their whole approach is bringing you into your heart
Mm.
and intuitively and connecting with yourself. And people already know a lot. And so I smelled it and I started crying.
Oh.
And everybody else in the group is like, oh, oranges. Oh, like,
Yeah.
and I was like, couldn't stop crying. And so we went around. I didn't want to share. The
Mm.
teacher encouraged me, please, Susan, it's also important, when there's hardship here too. Obviously, we have more memory for scent
Yes.
than any other thing. So what happened was mine scent was fur.
Ooh.
Brand fur
I
is
love.
also the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Well, when I was in fourth grade, my brother died in a car
Oh
accident
my God.
2 days after Christmas.
Mm.
And I hadn't realized that I had linked Christmas and funeral.
Wow.
And when I opened that little bottle, my grief was right there. I was
Wow.
like, what? Where were you hiding?
Oh.
So I bought the essence, I wrote my paper, and I thought, I want to help people move what I just moved, kind of by myself, working with the plant and the essence and meditation. So I went to a 2 year coaches training,
Oh.
Coactive Training Institute.
Mhm.
And it's a 2 year program. The first year you learn your skill set, and then the second year you um, like you have to have 100 paid hours of coaching. You have to record your coaching. The teachers review it. You have to have one of their paid coaches that you work with, so you know what Tapa Tapa looks like. And so I graduated there with a certificate in coaching, and now I help people move energy.
Mm.
Um, and also the level one class that I took, with the oils, I now teach that twice a year.
That's great. Oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing all of that. Whoa, I love the doula stuff. I love the oils. And when you said fur, I love fur. Cedarwood's been talking to me lately. I don't
Mm.
know why I gravitate towards that, but I did go to the home office in Arizona for those oils. And
Oh, beautiful.
yeah, and so you said 200, what kind of grade are they that you can eat them?
Medicinal. Yeah,
Medicinal.
medicinal.
And I was like, we literally got high just smelling all the different fragrances. And I was like, whoa, I need to sit down and like get myself
Yeah.
together because it's powerful. And it's actually in my human design chart that one of my gifts is olfactory. Is that how you say it?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know where that fits in with my life, but I know that I love scents and I do love working with oils and I could do more of it.
Yeah, yeah. And in the level one class, I we go over 80 essences firsthand
Mm,
and do like an intimate dive of like what are there for? How would, application, what is an oil? How do you apply it? How might you use this in your day-to-day life so that, you know, when we don't know how to do something, if somebody doesn't know how to cook or they don't know how to garden or you don't know how to use essential oils, and then they're, I call it dabbling,
mm,
like, well, look it up online or because that's great. I still look up stuff online like that won't end, but to have the foundation and really know what is an oil?
mm.
Like I'm now teaching at Yukon to the future doctors and dentists in Farmington. So I go into the classes and teach them. And I've said, you know, what is an oil? Who knows? How is this made? What is it? Crickets, mostly in the classes. They
Yeah.
know it about Yankee Candle or it's been in their shampoo or something. And so they don't know what a pure medical grade is. And
Mm,
not to say they need to incorporate it in their practice, but it's so popular. If you have a medication or something and you want to talk to your doctor should know what an oil is,
mm.
know what medical grade. And I'm so glad that they're having me come in and share that.
That is awesome.
And
Wow.
now the UConn nursing, I just taught a class there on Wednesday. Now they're up in stores, and now I just offered a class to the future nurses saying, like, what is it? How might I incorporate it? How do I tell which grade is which? And then I say, in 2 days, you can hop on this 2 day course and walk out knowing how to safely apply and choose and use oils. It's like, then you can dabble. Then you can go online and think like, oh, what's a Christmas scent or what's you know, a spring fresh up or what, you can dabble like that. But to have that foundation, I find I've been offering this class for about 8 years, twice a year. And the people who've taken it tell me, I use oils every day. I know how to use them.
No, it's great. I can't tell you how many nurses I've worked with, and almost all of them, not all of them, some of them had experience with essential oils. And I feel like nurses are so, like, after doing all that work, they get so tapped into humans, not just reading them, right? Because they're under intense situations. I feel like that opens you up in a whole different way, but not even to just support their clients, but to support themselves because they are givers. And I
Front lines.
yeah, and I think the oils are very supportive in that way.
Hmm.
So I'm glad you're working with them. That's awesome.
Yeah, I work for Oak Hill. It used to be the School for the Blind. They have a lot of different programs, but they have group homes for people who cannot live independently.
Oh.
And so I go into the group homes and offer staff training.
That's
And and so they order the oils. I have one of the clients who I've been working with, 3 months of working together, and her nebulizer use was down 80%.
wow. That's incredible.
There's just story after story of, health, emotional, and in the coaching world,
Mhm.
something I do. Actually, I'm going to show a little sample. If you want to pick a number 1 through 18,
Mhm.
so
Eight.
go ahead. What is it? 8? Um, Interesting. So you picked Melissa.
No.
Yeah.
Uh,
So what I do is I have a little um I'll show you. This is like my aroma bar.
nice.
And so sometimes if I'm doing some work online
Mhm.
or if somebody's having trouble picking something, because they're in their head and they can't seem to get out of their head, then
Mhm.
I just have them choose a number.
That's great.
It's
That's my
just,
real name, by the way, Melissa.
isn't that so funny? Like how in the world does
Mhm.
this so let's see here. Um Melissa.
Mhm.
So it means amazing goodness.
Ooh.
This is steam distilled, and it's the leaves and stalks. And so when we think of the leaves, I always want to look at what part was used.
Mm.
So the leaves is telling me this is the breathing apparatus of the plant.
Oh, okay.
So, like if I was working with you in person or, even on the computer, I would open it myself here and I would put a drop on my hand. So, it enters the room and I just put like a drop like this and then I rub it in and kind of send you the energy and the healing of Melissa and think about breathing. So, that might be for you taking in more.
Okay.
And a lot of times people do this, shallow breath. And I
Mhm.
might even have you put your hand on your stomach
Mm.
and make sure you're doing your belly breathing.
Mhm.
I like 2 feet on the ground. Sometimes we cross our legs or something. So I like to say, put 2 feet on the ground. This is from Morocco.
Ooh.
And it facilitates and helps. So I have this um, the book about reference guide. And
Yeah.
I'd like to just read it and see like what resonates. And this one is saying um, it helps support your immune system, antiviral. And now Melissa is a stimulant. I
Ooh.
think just like you are.
Thank
I
you.
do. I think you are an energizer. And
Mm.
some essences are like sedative, of course, but this is an energizer. I
Nice.
think that's a great match for you.
Thanks.
It's also an antidepressant,
Oh, good.
just like you are.
Oh.
No, really, really. Anyone who knows you is going to say that.
Hmm.
Um, Anti-cancer, supports prostate health, um, very expensive but powerful.
Hey.
See? Many and emotional and spiritual issues are addressed with Melissa.
Okay.
Um, Core issues coming to light.
Okay.
Um, and it helps with your present reality and past lives.
Mm,
So, you
that's a
know,
good one.
it always brings stuff up. A lot of times, this could be a gateway that's like an aha to someone saying, oh, I've been low on energy, or oh, I haven't been taking in as much. So the lungs also carry resentment, So, like,
Yeah.
someone might not be breathing deeply because they might have some underlying. And so, me just talking about the essence and opening it usually just goes right into some things that are underlying surface.
That is so cool. I've never worked that deeply with the oils before. I love that. And maybe that's something to think about, right? Seeing how it's in my chart, But yeah, so you could do it virtually too. You don't even have to be in the room with someone.
Yeah, during COVID, what I did, I'm hoping to, jumpstart this again in the near future. I just for the Chinese New Year
Mm.
and the fire horse, I the at like midnight the night before, I unveiled my new website. I took down my entire website, 100% new website. The thing that's going on this weekend is going to be a calendar. Where can I find Susan?
Yeah, that's
So
great.
so I'm doing the Ashford Market, the Vernon Health Expo, the Co-op Fair, so someone can look where they can find me, where we can meet. But during COVID, when everybody things got shut down, I did Empress Evenings,
Oh,
and it was every Monday for about a month, and we would talk about what's going on Monday night, and then Tuesday, everybody had 30-minute session with me online.
ooh.
There was a woman from Chicago, there was a woman from Florida. Um, and in your session, you would get an essence that we were going to work with for the month.
Mm.
The next session, when we came back, everybody shared their essence with the group energy and the coherence of a group.
Yeah,
By time it ended, people were saying, this can't end. This is my lifeline.
yeah, yeah.
So we ended up going all the way to Empress 4.0.
Whoa, that's great.
So I said, okay, I'll do it again. It'll be Empress 2.0. We'll just call it. And then they were like, don't stop. So I did Empress 3.0, and then I ended up doing Empress 4.0.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then some of the people stayed on as private clients.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
cool.
So, and we did it all. I would send them their essence that they got.
Okay.
So, and then they would have it on every call and they'd be working with it and, bringing in some new energies.
And so the oils came first and then the coaching business?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I thought, I can't believe how much I worked through with my own grief. I thought I was going to carry that right through. I mean, not to say that grief ends, it just transforms. But the work that I did, I mean, I was like, let's get a Christmas tree. Let's,
Mm.
celebrate. I didn't realize how much I was holding around Christmas and um, just the work. I've done some writing. I write for the Natural Nutmeg magazine that comes out every other month. And last year, I wrote all my articles on essential oils.
Mm.
And this year, I'm writing them all on coaching.
Oh, that's great. That's
Hmm.
great. So let's talk about your coaching business then. Like, would you consider it? I think you call yourself a life coach. What's your
Yeah.
official title, right? And would you consider it a spiritual business or that's something that lives within you that just um, translates or comes into the coaching? How does that work?
Well, I think us Pisces can't stop the spiritual. I always say, like, we started with the Aries and then all the jobs were handed out. So
Mm,
by the last sign Pisces came, they were like, just dream.
Yes.
Like there were no more jobs, there was no more like, you know, so um, I am a dreamer. I hold people in, the highest regard, and you know, definitely spirituality is in everything I do. But this year I'm starting to really step forward. I'm noticing with a lot of clients that I have that a lot of the work I'm doing is relationship.
Mm,
I'm starting to step forward as a relationship coach
nice.
because whether it's the relationship with yourself, you don't
Mhm.
have to, is going to um, transcend into other things. One funny story is they had the radio station 93.7 in
Mm.
Hartford that you call in and they said, um, is sexting cheating?
Oh.
It was like question of the day, is sexting cheating? You
Yeah.
know, everyone has their opinions. I called in, I couldn't resist myself, and I said, cheating is anything a couple defines as cheating.
Mm, yes. Yep.
People were mad.
They got mad.
People have feelings, they're entitled to those feelings.
Yeah. Well,
But a lot of these things, I'm trying to get people to ask questions, connect with your partner, ask these big questions like, is sexting cheating? Is this like one of the things I like to have people think about
mhm.
is um, preferences, rules, and deal breakers.
Yeah.
The preference might be I like to sleep late on Saturday, don't wake me. A
Yeah.
rule might be, no peanut butter in the house. I have a severe allergy.
Hmm.
A deal breaker maybe don't sleep with my sister or I'm going to pack it up.
Yeah.
And so everybody gets to pick those and think about those. But like when we know more about our partner and when we know more about ourselves, we can be a really great partner. And a lot of people say, well, he won't, she won't. I actually coach a lot of men.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And oh, she won't do that. And it's like, you can actually have a really happy relationship with one person doing the work. I mean, we don't usually the person who does
Oh,
the
yeah.
work doesn't want to say, I don't want to do the work. I always do the work.
Mhm.
Well, doing the work is going to liberate you.
Yeah.
Doing the work is going to create the relationship, whether it's partner, parent, child, coworker, anything like that. It's going to ripple into everything.
You can function better in all aspects of your life. And the thing, and I've heard this from clients before too, it's like you always have choice. So you don't have to stay in the relationship. As hard as it might be to leave, if you don't want to do the work, fine, let them go. But you're going to still do the work in the next relationship. That's how
Yeah.
I feel. If you don't heal it with that person, you get to experience it again. And maybe it'll be better next time because you've learned some things, obviously. But you always have choice.
Well, I have a lot of great books. So I have a lending library. So
Nice.
if I'm working with someone and I know that they need it, I'm like, Dance of Anger,
Right.
Loving What Is,
Yeah.
John Gatto, and then they come back and they've absorbed
Mm.
that information and it's really gonna, so it's not like how I work is somebody will book an hour and a half. It's called
Mhm.
a cup of clarity.
Mm.
And we get really clear on what energy do you want to move because often people don't want to change. It's our nature. We don't
Mm.
want to step out of our comfort zone.
Mm.
So, in that cup of clarity, if somebody says, I want to have a better relationship with my mom, or I want to get a new job, or whatever it is, when we define that in the hour and a half, now I say semesters, we do 16 weeks, meeting every other week. And at the end of those 16 weeks, how do I know we succeeded?
Mm. Yes, great question.
I've lost the weight. I've going out with my son again. I'm talking to my mom again. I've packed up my house. I put it on the market. Whatever that goal is that we define, Now you have me. That's why a coach is different because I'm going to push you as hard as we've decided to push you. We will make a together statement to say, don't yell at me or yell at me, and come in and say, Missy, you said you wanted to move and you're not renting the dumpster.
Mm.
What's happening here?
Mhm.
And the fun part is, I, when I work with someone, I feel as passionate about their goals as they do.
Mm. Yeah.
So I want to see you move. I want to see you get a new job.
Totally. I love that I think the Pisces nature, we're good shapeshifters. We can meet people wherever they're at. So like you said, I can be the crack the whip coach for you, or I can be the pat on the back, soft and encouraging. But I love that.
That's
Um,
that's why the first session is an hour and a half because I want to design our alliance. Who
mm,
would you need me to be to meet your goals?
love that.
You know?
Thank you for sharing. All right, now it's time for the speed round. Are you ready?
Yeah, yeah.
We got less than 6 minutes, going on 5 minutes here. And so I'm just going to shoot some questions at you about more about business because my channel is for spiritual entrepreneurs. And you've already shared a lot about your own business. I love that. But I want to know, like, have you ever picked up a strategy or some way of doing business? It seems like you very much know how you like to work and what works best for you for getting clients. But have you ever tried someone else's plan, rules, or playbook for business and realized that it wasn't working for you? Like, at what point did you ever have that revelation?
Well, I have been in the last year at it's called NEPQ,
Okay.
and it's like a sales school.
Neat.
And it's been like being in there has made me want to. That's when I redid my website. I'd say 95% of the people in this business school are men. I know
Oh,
there's a lot of like women things and women like this is like 95% men and they're ruthless. But
yes.
I work well with the masculine energy and I do have a lot of male clients. So like actually this next level one coming up is almost all men.
Oh, okay. Cool. Love
So
it.
so I do have a lot of masculine and it's a lot of like strategies and one guy's like, I hate your website. And I'm like,
Too feminine.
just like it wasn't easy enough to navigate and this. So I've been networking in there and I really have figured out a lot of ways to do business, how to talk to people, how to selling strategies, stuff like that.
And have you found that it's easy to take what resonates and leave what doesn't? You're okay with that?
I
Yeah.
mean, when I was that's been my whole life.
Nice.
Like I have a women's weightlifting class and the teacher came over and she's like, "Oh, that's not, what we're doing in this. It's like stations." She's like, "Oh, that's not this station." I was like, "I know.
I'm okay with that. You really
I don't
know.
want to do that."
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
body says, "No, thank you." Like I'm so in tune with my body and myself that I love taking other people's classes and things and like, "Ooh, I love that." I go like this.
Nice.
Like I'm like screenshot almost, like, oh, I love that. And I give credit, oh, this is from Ina May Gaskin. Oh, this is from, give credit. Oh, check out this person's work. This is from Byron Katie. Oh, this is from,
Mm,
you know,
nice. Nice. Um, I feel like we learn the different rules in business. So we know the basics, right? You got to put the open sign on, you got to open the front door, you got to send out the invitations if you're having an event or whatever. But have you learned? Okay, so you learn the rules, you learn the techniques so you could break them. So you can,
yeah,
oh, you know who you are, and then you test because maybe, like you said, maybe that station isn't working for you, so you try something else, but you're willing to try something
yeah.
else. So I'm just wondering, like with all the rules that you've been learning or techniques and tactics, um, have you found that you've broken the rules and you do something totally against what they've told you, but it actually does work, or maybe it didn't work?
Well, one thing that's really important to me is that all work is accessible.
Mm.
I had it. And so, like, some people will look in, like, when I did Empress Evening, I made sure there was two, I had 10 people in it. So I made sure that there were two slots for people who it may not have been accessible to.
Okay. You make it
So,
portable.
and you know what? Let's make eclectic rooms. And when I say eclectic, I mean race, economic, age.
Mhm.
I've had a 16-year-old take my level one class and she made, her own antidepressant hydrolats during COVID for her friends that were sad because there was no school and no prom.
God bless her.
So like just making sure that like I don't want to sit in a room with everybody who looks like me,
Mm.
and other people don't anymore either.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I make sure that the work is accessible, that if someone doesn't have the resources, I want them in the room anyway. How do we make this happen? Barter, exchange, scholarships, community supported. Hey, I have a student. Anybody want to pick up this bill?
Mm. Yeah. What does flow look like for you in your business versus hustle? Like, have you ever felt like you were just hustling, pushing, and grinding? Anything like that?
Will you repeat the question?
And I'll repeat the question. Yes. So, Susan, um, tell me what it looks like for you as a coach, as a practitioner in the essential oils. Like, what does it look like when your business is in flow, where you like know, okay, know the actions in my business, I know the clients are coming, cash flow, all the things, versus pushing, forcing, and trying to hustle and make things happen.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. So when I raised my kids, we did screen-free Sunday.
Mm.
I was raised, with downtime being important, and so I would do screen-free Sunday. And so now, as an adult, my kids are, out of the house, grown up. There's one left, and now I do that for myself. I don't drive on Sundays.
Nice. You don't even drive. Cool.
Yeah, so I don't drive on Sundays. I mean, if there's like a big event like Vernon Health Expo or something that lands on it, then I won't drive on Saturday
Mm.
so that I have Sunday available. And I'll, make space for it. So I at least have 24 hours a week, that's just pull back, take care of me. My self-care routine is just real, lots of weightlifting and running. And I meal prep on Sunday to get to Wednesday, and then meal prep on Wednesday to get to Sunday. So, just trying to and not chase. If I find myself chasing or putting out too much, then I pull back and make sure because if I'm not regulated
Mm.
and calm and grounded and I'm out there, people are going to feel it. People are going to feel, and even at Wisdom of the Earth, we say that we're attractors, not chasers.
Mm. Nice.
And so I know what I have is valuable. I know the value of it. I've seen it for my life. I had somebody that had a accident in her family and she was on the way to the hospital not knowing if that family member would be alive or not. She calls me on the way. We have an hour ride. I'm kind of talking her down, processing with her, and she gets to the hospital, hangs up, does her thing. And I thought, I've always been the first call for everyone. And a lot of times when we have this gift and
Mm.
it comes so easy to us,
Yes.
we may not think time to charge.
Absolutely.
And I was seeing a coach at the time, and she said to me, if you were in that situation, would you have called that person? I was like, no. She said, would that person have been on your top five? I said, no. She said, that person's a client. So I started being able to separate, these gifts and pulling back and letting people come. And sometimes we might be, if somebody you know, sells pillows. We're not going to go to their house and say, "Hey, can I have some pillows?" we're going to pay them for the pillow. We're going to say, I'd like to buy 5 pillows. But as a coach, sometimes people call me up and they're like, what do you think of this? And I've learned to say, depending who it is, um, you know what? This looks a little deeper than I have right now. We can hop on a free 30-minute. I always have that available.
Mhm.
If the 30-minute isn't enough, then I'm going to say, this looks like a lot for you to be carrying. Why don't we jump on a cup of clarity? I want to take this deeper with you. The 30 minutes is not going to be
Enough.
something we can solve. And then a lot of times those people might turn into clients or they might just need the hour and a half, whatever it looks like. But knowing your value and then sitting back and being an attractor.
That's so good. I love that. We're attractors.
Yeah.
So tell me how you bring your spirituality into your daily practice or your client sessions. How does that support you in your business?
Yeah. I mean, I'm really connected to the earth. And just like people go to church and things like that, I make sure that I have time every day in nature.
Mm.
Whether I take a walk, whether it's raining or freezing or anything, I still just get out there in it. And it's actually not as cold when you're doing it every day.
Mm.
If we're in our house all the time and we're like, look, it's so cold out. Just get out there. I think our bodies need it. I think that's why people get depressed in the winter. And I think like sometimes I want a cup of coffee and I'll do a 15-minute brisk walk.
Nice.
And so that's really connected to my spirituality, the plants, and we grow a lot of flowers and plants and mushrooms and, our own food and maple syrup. So that's really a spiritual connection for me.
I love that.
Yeah.
I've
I'm,
walked I believe in the sun, the power of the sun too. So you say get out there and get walking. In the Northeast, it's like you have to get out when it's sunny because you're not going to get much of it. And I have to tell you, I've done the most walking through winter ever in my life to get that sun and get moving.
yeah.
And you're
And
right, the cold doesn't feel as harsh.
yeah. And I grew up with like, if something happened or whatever, like sometimes you just kind of light a candle. There's just something about lighting a candle. And um, I use let's see, this one's pine. I use the essential oils and I make the candles. And then so I have it like diffusing in the room. So a lot of times if I'm working with a client and every time, every time I'm working with someone, there's a candle going.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Um, Yeah, and so I always have, and I do, and then I take the wax. This one's a beeswax.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Yeah, so I take the wax and then make, beeswax ones too,
Oh, that's so pretty.
and then sometimes if a client has something heavy or whatever, they're always available for purchase, but sometimes I just send them home with the candle we've been burning so they can go home and burn the other half of it or, use that energy to keep it alive.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, candles do a lot. I light them every dinner. I have my grandmother's candlesticks holders, and we have candles at every dinner. I think it's a really spiritual practice to sit and eat, and lighting the candles helps without saying it. Get off your phone, get off. This is a time like you've been waiting to eat this. You've been waiting for the day, and now you're just gonna miss it because blah blah blah. Um,
So sacred. I love
the
that.
candles help hold that sacred energy for sure.
I'm gonna call you Sacred Susan.
Oh, sweet.
Susan's my middle name, by the way.
Oh, nice.
That cool? Got the Pisces Susan connection here.
Yeah, love it.
Well, thank you for this interview. Thank you for sharing your time and your wisdom and your light. Is there anything you would like to share with other spiritual entrepreneurs, holistic coaches, or practitioners who might be struggling either to get clients, to maintain their business, or going through burnout? Just a couple sentences.
Well, one thing that has built this business is like plugging away because it fills my cup even when the people aren't there. I remember teaching a vision board class. I was so excited about the vision board. It was, maybe 15 years ago. And I was so excited about the class. And the place called me that was hosting. They said, there's only one person signed up.
Hmm.
And they said, do you want to cancel? It's basically what I'm going to pay for the space.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I want to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for one person. That person has ended up being financially one of my biggest clients. I ended up getting a very large corporate job that is still going to this day, that she works for a corporation that is buying $10,000 of oils a year. I'm in there helping out. There's like amazing stuff that's happening. So, you know, and the person in front of you in the bank that you're talking to or sharing your ideas, like you don't know where that's going to lead. Just keep talking about it and being excited about it. And that's why the men in my business school, they'll say, oh, I called that lady 12 times. And like, as a woman, I'm like, what? That poor lady. They're so aggressive. And I think as women, we don't want to step on toes and we don't want to over and we don't want to, but like plugging yourself, if you, somebody said this to me one time, do you think if somebody couldn't afford your coaching and they put it on their credit card because they literally did not have the money or the funds, do you think that would be a good move for them?
Hmm.
Yes. Going to take someone out of depression. I'm going to save you $50,000 divorce. I'm going to save you, like, yes, this is like literally a drop in the bucket, even though it looks so big. And so, like, if you believe that, why wouldn't you push a little bit harder? Why wouldn't you advocate for yourself a little bit harder and advocate for your clients? Otherwise, nothing we want is in our comfort zone.
Right.
That's been established. And if you're going to get people to step out of their comfort zone and buy
Mhm.
whatever it is that you're selling, it's really important to believe in yourself. And it's not too pushy. Sometimes we have to say to someone, like, you came here saying you're depressed and you don't want to invest in yourself. Don't you think that's related?
Yeah,
Like being forward to say the things that maybe no one is saying and enabling people to stay stuck.
great point. Great point.
Mhm.
Thank you for sharing again. This time has been wonderful. And
Yay.
I'll put all your contact information in the description below so people can know where to find you.
Great. Thank you so much.